It's that time again, everyone. DC Wood reviews the Arrowverse. We are on episode 18 now, and today we're looking at The Flash Season 4. Just want to say thank you all very much for liking and subscribing to my channel, and thank you for supporting me whilst I've been doing these reviews of the Arrowverse seasons. Can't believe I'm on episode 18, and can't believe it's been a year since I started doing all this. Obviously, much has changed, much has happened, and I've still got a lot more Arrowverse seasons to review. I am going to see this project all the way through to the end, but I don't know when that end's going to be, because obviously I've been mad busy with life and other projects. But just want to say thank you very much for supporting me, and I am going to see this through to the very end until I get right up to date with reviewing every single Arrowverse season. The Flash Season 4 premiered on 10th of October 2017, running for the standard 23 episodes until 22nd of May 2018. At the end of Season 3, the Flash defeated Savitar and saved Iris from her prophesized death. Savitar was erased from existence and the day was saved. Alas, the victory was short-lived. A void in the Speed Force created by Barry Allen and Savitar's destruction to the timeline results in a cataclysmic storm that threatens all of Central City. Barry was ultimately forced to take his place in the Speed Force prison to save the city and atone for creating Flashpoint, and he entrusted the rest of Team Flash, his family and friends, to protecting the city. 6 months have now passed. Iris has thrown herself into leading the team in Barry's absence, and despite the heavy loss and the burden to bear, the team have managed well. But now, whole new threats are emerging in Central City, too much for Team Flash to deal with. Somehow, some way, they need to bring Barry home. And who is the Thinker? When I reviewed The Flash Season 3, I said that that was the worst season of this show. I still stand by that. One of the major reasons why I didn't enjoy it overall was the tone. Season 3 was too dark, too grim, too miserable. It was not what The Flash should be about. Thankfully, Season 4 makes a big attempt to correct that. Right from the word go, The Flash Season 4 is much lighter, more optimistic, and goes in the opposite direction of Season 3. The season premiere, The Flash Reborn, is a great episode. So much better than the majority of Season 3. It's much lighter in tone. There's great comedy, great development for the likes of Iris and Cisco, amazing special effects sequences, Blake Neely with Nathaniel Bloom this time around. Again, produces a perfect score. There's a great baddie, Massameroid. The story successfully brings Barry back into the fold, and it also introduces the Thinker. It all sets the table nicely for Season 4. A lot of Season 3's major problems have been corrected here. Barry's back to being his usual likeable, courageous self. You also feel like he's truly moved on and accepted his past. You feel like he's redeemed and born again. Iris and Candice Patton have so much more to do in Season 4 than in Season 3. Iris actually feels like a proper character again, instead of being a plot device, struggling to live life without Barry, stepping up and really proving herself as the leader of Team Flash, her joyous reunion with her fiancé, the struggles that she faces for when Barry comes back into her life. And very late on in the season, Iris actually starts her lean back into journalism. This was a great character arc for Iris back in The Flash's first 2 seasons, and yet for some reason this was abandoned in Season 3 when Iris was reduced to being a damsel in distress. Here, Iris gets back on course as a character, and I love it. Other pros, Joe's relationship with District Attorney Cecile Horton, Danielle Nicolette, really develops to the point where they have a child together. Cecile becomes a really prominent character in Season 4, and Danielle would be promoted to series regular going forward. Danielle truly becomes one of a family, and I'm in favour of that. Caitlyn's Killer Frost persona becomes fully fledged. Tom Cavanagh's Harry Wells of Earth 2 rejoined the team. Harry was my favourite incarnation of all the Welleses. Cisco and Vibe remains as ace as ever. Violet Bean comes back as Jesse Quick, and also we get Hartley Sawyer joining the main cast as Ralph Dibney, aka Elongated Man. Oh, and wrestling legend Bill Goldberg also guest appears in a few episodes as Big Sir. Brilliant. Now, going back to Hartley Sawyer, putting aside Hartley's firing from the show after season 6, at the time, Hartley felt like part of the family straight away, much more than Julia and Albert. The effects work for the elongated man's powers are very well done here. Ralph Dibney, when he's first introduced, was a terrible character with a frustrating journey. But by the end, Ralph really proves himself as one of the good guys, and he gets much better character development in seasons 5 and 6. It is unfortunate that Hartley Sawyer's no longer part of the show as of season 7, but his dismissal had to happen given the circumstances. Episode-wise, there are some really unforgettable highlights here. Again, The Flash Reborn is such a brilliant start to season 4. Run Iris Run is a fun episode. I know a lot of fans hated the idea of Iris getting Barry's powers and being a female Flash for an episode, but from one shot, this was an enjoyable affair that further develops Iris brilliantly. I liked it. I thought it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Crisis on Earth X, as I've said, is a glorious crossover which unites The Flash, Arrow, Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow for a 4-part epic, brings back the Reverse Flash, and it finally sees Barry and Iris tie the knot. Then there's Enter Flash Time. It's not just the single best episode out of all season 4, it's also one of the top 2 best ever episodes of The Flash. A nuclear bomb that's already gone off, time slowed to a crawl, and the Flash exhausting every option imaginable to try and save Central City. It's a virtually perfect epic in terms of plot, soundtrack, acting, special effects, and Grant Gustin giving another performance of his life here. It'll have you right on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Enter Flash Time is just glorious. In my opinion, simply perfection. So all of this should have made The Flash Season 4 a return to form. Alas, whilst The Flash should be a lighter show to contrast the likes of Arrow, Constantine and Batwoman, Season 4 took The Flash in too far the opposite direction. In Seasons 1 and 2, the balance was perfect. In Season 3, it was way too dark and grim. Season 4, there are too many attempts on forced humour. The majority of the comedy in this is just crude and cringeworthy. In previous seasons, the humour was genuinely hilarious and natural. Here, the comedy is just too forced. The showrunners were trying too hard to make up for season 3, and as a result, it ultimately backfires. Another glaring flaw is the consistency. In season 3, The Flash became too ambitious with its special effects and the story that they were trying to tell. It's the same with season 4. There are too many episodes that have rushed CGI and absolutely atrocious episodes. Girls' Night Out is the biggest offender here. What could have been a fun episode with Iris, Caitlin, Cecile and Felicity instead becomes a crass, cringeworthy load of tripe that's tedious to sit through, frankly. You also see that the budget is stretched out too thin for season 4 in terms of special effects. In episodes like The Flash Reborn, Enter Flash Time, Crisis on Earth X, Run Iris Run and Think Fast, the effects are glorious. Most of the other episodes, it just shows how rushed the CGI is and how overworked the team were. Plus, there are some really tedious subplots to sit through, like Barry being framed for the Thinker's murder, resulting in him going to prison for several episodes, and the stupid Council of Wells, which just doesn't work. Now, the main baddie for Season 4, Clifford DeVoe, aka the Thinker, Neil Sandilands. Finally, we had a non-speedster villain for the big bad, and the result is fantastic. DeVoe, at this point in time, was the show's best villain since Zoom. A victim of the particle accelerator explosion that's been biding his time, granted with superintelligence and an absolute genius, trying to escape his dying body. The Thinker's origins are absolutely fascinating. He's got a rich backstory, and Neil Sandilands gives the villain the depth and gravitas he deserves. DeVoe's equally brilliant and loyal wife, Marlize, played by the excellent Kim Engelbrecht, is a wonderfully rich character and villain in her own right, more than worthy foes for Barry Allen. The problem, though, is that despite being formidable villains, as well as having such depth and a compelling backstory, the DeVoes don't get the story that they deserve in Season 4. The problem is that as the Thinker's condition deteriorates and his plans moves towards the endgame, Clifford uses his intelligence to take over the bodies of new metahumans he's created. And none of the other actors who portray DeVoe really embody the villain like Neil Sandilands does. It really disjoints and ruins the Thinker's story. It's such a slog to get to the finale and see what DeVoe's ultimate goal is. The Thinker also becomes too overpowered a threat that you can't take Team Flash as a viable threat to him. And when DeVoe finally does receive his ultimate defeat, it doesn't feel earned or deserved. It's a real missed opportunity, given that the Thinker and Marlize genuinely rank among the show's best villains. And sadly, there's Aminat Black, Gregory Wolfe, and a load of other villains who really don't have anywhere near the level of brilliance of the rogues from previous seasons. And sadly, there's no Gorilla Grodd this season because he was busy on Legends of Tomorrow Season 3. Ultimately, The Flash Season 4 takes several steps forward and then several steps back. It's not just comparing Season 4 with Seasons 1 and 2 that makes this so frustrating. It's comparing it with itself. You know that this show is still capable of greatness when you watch stuff like The Flash Reborn, Crisis on Earth X, and of course, Enter Flash Time. And yet, any hopes for The Flash's return to form have to wait until Season 6. The Flash Season 4 had all the right tools to get the show back up on top, but the overall execution is really mediocre. The end result is marginally better than Season 3, thanks to the lighter tone and more epic moments, but with little consistency. Special effects and an overall plot stretched way too thin, and the Thinker not getting the story he deserved. This ends up being a real disappointment. Overall rating 5 out of 10. So, what did you all think of The Flash Season 4? Please discuss in the comments below. Please click like and subscribe. Join us again next time for my review of Legends of Tomorrow Season 3. Stay safe, everybody. Goodbye for now.